And here we are at the next video, which is literally 1 second for me. Could be days for you or hours, but... Alright, gotta fill in the rest of the face. Why does my tumble there not work? Okay, so I'm gonna try this because I really don't want to do more stripes. I'm just gonna fill this in, and then I'm gonna insert edge loop. So let's see if that works. So shift, and I'm just gonna start filling in the gaps. And yes, I know that I don't have any eyelids, and this is very low, and it's not following the contour. Ooh, wrong. Undo. Right. Almost got that. Come on. Oh, there it is. Are you gonna give me a hard time? There we go. Okay, so clearly issues, right? It doesn't follow the. You can see how far off the eyeballs are and stuff. So now that I have that filled in, I'm just going to do a little bit of tweaking. Not much, just saw some lines here that could be straightened out. Really, again, that's another thing, is just you should constantly be tweaking the point positions and straightening things, and yeah, anyway, blah blah blah. Alright, let's open this up a bit. Just got this one following this contour around under the eye, and then it goes up into the eyeball. So that's this loop here is my original orbit, like the bony structures of your eyes. All right, insert edge looping time, or I guess I can stay in the quad draw tool by using control to insert loops. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to prioritize the deep creases of the upper portion, and then I'm going to adjust the points on the lower portion of the eye. So Catarl, and that allows me to put a line in here, right? I'm trying to get it to go right in that deep part of the eye, but because it is looping, it won't quite match, but you can see I got a good spot there. And because of the live, it just snaps it back down onto the surface. You can see how much nicer that is already with just one extra loop. I've pretty much got everything I need to do, like high points and low points. That is my minimum amount of polygons. You know, high, low, that's, and then we actually have an in-between one. That looks much better than I thought it was going to be, and it actually went really well. Pretty happy with that. Look at that. I'm always kind of impressed when I do something that works, because I'm so horrible at everything. Okay, alright, so there we go. Boo boo, boo, boo. Just, there's the bird. Cool, high point, low point, high point. Oh, did I? High point, low point, yeah. I guess these could be pulled in a little bit more. And I'm trying to get these lines to radiate out in a kind of predictable straight function path kind of way. Looking good. Alright. Filling in. Sure. It says with a rising tone on the end to indicate a question. Alright, I'm going to fill some of this stuff in. I'm going to go, okay, so the main one's going to be, this is the squared off bits of the eye here, so I'm going to just put that one in. That's going to be my start point, because then I can feed off of that to do the rest of them. So this one, so I've got an extra line in here I think that I don't need, so let me, it's pretty obvious I'm going to fill that one in. And where does this one go? That's the tricky bit. You see, it wants to do all sorts of fancy connections in here, so we're going to have to figure that one out. It's not what I wanted to undo. I kind of want this one to connect into here, but I think I've got an extra row that I don't have here. I'm worried I'm putting in too much geo. Control, and I'm going to slice this up here. And that's going to put a midline kind of in this side of the nose. And that might help me with my connections here, because now I can put it, so you see this line is kind of doing this valley here, so I can put a dot in there. What? Oh, sorry, that was the F key. This one, there. Yeah, too many lines. I really don't want to divide this again. I think I'm going to loop it. Right, so one of these lines is going to get looped up here in the brow and then come back down again. That's usually what we do. So the fact that I have an extra row here for now, I think is okay because I know I'm going to loop it across. So I will add it in here. So I'm going to cut this again so that I can then put a point right in the middle and then go boop. Oh. Yeah, wow. This is going to be way too much geo. Now I need to split here. Or else I have to get rid of this line here. So this line I might want this to connect down here. So what? Okay, so we have snapping on here. So I think it'll merge my vert in there for me, and then this will merge my vert down here, and this will merge my vert down there, and then I can just go fill that. So I think that's okay. I would probably pull these down to even this out a little bit. And then these can come down here. It's a bit much, that's my current, I mean, when I look at the nose, I go, nope, I can't remove any of these because then I'm going to really lose the shape of the nostril. It's a small little circle. So I can't see myself taking any of these out from here, but I definitely don't want all of these going around necessarily. So I think removing, like looping this one back would remove a couple of these. So anyway, we'll play that one by ear. Now, I've got something to deal with here. Which is, what do I do in here? Now this looks like, because I've connected this in here, it wants me to do that all the way around. So does this one connect just into there? Is that how we're going to do this? And then this one connects into here? So that's a bit weird, because the shape is now, I call this a kite shape. It looks like an old-timey kite that you would go fly, where the 3 points are really close together, and then it makes this triangle shape, and then there's a tail coming off. So I think that's too far. I think these ones we would need to fill in a bit. Even these ones really almost want to have another line in there. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. I think I'm going to do a line going around here. I mean, generally these lines go up and then around the nose, and then around this way. Alright, so we'll continue around the eye for now. So let me put this point in here. Let's fill that in. I'll put a point in there so that I can do those two. So the nice thing about this quadra is it'll automatically, you can just drag any vert over any other vert and it will weld them for you. If you remember the weld tool, the target weld, that allowed you to grab a vert and drag it to another vert to snap. That's exactly what's turned on automatically here. Okay, so then this one's going to come out to here. And I'm going to go up, up, up. Try that. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I don't mind it. Getting there. So this one, so now we're riding the actual cheekbone. So there's the high point of the cheekbone. So normally this 5 point, right, there's a vert with 5 edges that's really close to the back of the nose, but I'm trying to keep this light, and I think this is a nice average size for my faces. So keep going with that, I think. Pretty good. So here I'm going to ignore this loop for now, and I'm going to pretend that this is the next one. So now I'm going to draw out again, and at some point, I mean, obviously we want to stop radiating out, so let's come down, and let's fill these in, see where we are. So this last one I'm going to have to see about how this is going to want me to, so it's going to want me to do that, which is fine, because I want this row to turn in. So let's go shift here. Okay. Cool, but you see this thing, like the size of these, it would want me to maybe fill this in, and now I have to do 2, so I don't know how that's going to work. It looks like again that I might have 1 extra kind of flowing out of here. If I hold down shift, what does it show me? It shows me that. Okay, I like that, so I'm going to click on it, even though it makes this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Yeah, I really don't know what we're getting into here. Part of me wants to just bring all these together, and then that would make that a quad. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just trying to see whether I can. I don't really want to put another loop in here because it's going to loop all the way around the eye and back into the nose. So I definitely don't want to add any more geo to this front of the face, which means I'm going to have to figure something out here. So my usual modus operandi here is to just do it, make it wrong, and then puzzle it out afterwards, because it's pretty hard for me to figure out what I want to do here. And I still remember from the other video, I'm not 100% sure with this topology in here, but so there might be some solution where I fix this, and then the way fixing that fixes in here. I'm going to fill this in, so I'm holding down shift, and I'm just going to, oops, not do that, undo, did relax by accident, it's getting closer, shift, fill that in. Okay, so there's my triangle, and my general rule with a triangle is to, you know, like this edge here, I could just collapse all these edges going up. I wonder what that would do to my mesh. Because I would have a face here, and instead I would have an edge. I think I might be okay considering how much geometry I have for this nose already. I think we might be okay with getting rid of that flow. So I could just go through here and start dragging points up, but I don't want to do that. I want them to meet in the middle. So I'm going to collapse these edges. Now to do that, I need to select all of them, and I can't figure out how to do that in Quad Draw, so I'm going to exit my Quad Draw. Just hit Q. I'm going to hide my face so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to choose this edge loop, which is the one, you know, that's the base of this triangle. And I'm going to want to select all the rest of these going across. Now this is called, so if this If I double click that loop, that's an edge loop. That means that the edge is going in the opposite direction, so the ones that don't go around, but the ones that go across. So in other words, these ones, those are edge rings. So we have loops and we have rings, in case I haven't talked on this or touched on the subject before. So I want to pick, it's easy to pick a loop because you can just double click and then it'll stop whenever it reaches one of these complex edge attachments, where if the edge comes through and it sees there's a vert with more than 4 edge attachments, it stops. So then I would just have to go shift click and then, okay, there's my loop or whatever. But you can't do that with this. If I double click these, right, it always wants to do the loop. So if I double click any edge and I want this, so I pick one and then I'm going to hold down Control and I'm going to right mouse click on that edge, and I get this context sensitive marking menu, which allows me to go to Edge Ring Utilities to Edge Ring, and you can see it just chooses all of these rings, and it will do that all the way around the object that you're trying to select, so that you can collapse whole faces together. So now if I do a collapse, I get that, which, everything's back to quads. I have lost a row, so I have lost some detail around the nose, but instead of having that line going up this way, I'd rather have the detail looping around the nose, so I'm going to multi-cut this instead. And I'm going to say, well, oh, that's weird, I don't know why it went blue. So now I'm going to just start drawing around here, because I really want to add one in here, and depends how far you want to go. I'm going to go all the way out to here, going to cut across here, make 2 triangles, and then come back under the nose. And hit enter. Thank you. And now I sort of have options, right? I can use these points to shape around the nostril a little bit. Now I drew it under and across, so when we mirror the geometry, there's going to be a loop that kind of goes all the way around the nose. If you didn't want that, you could have taken this one and turned it here and had another line coming down here, and then so you could have had a loop going around, but I think this kind of works. Now, how do we deal with these 2 triangles? Well, usually with triangles I collapse edges, but what if I hit Q and I just delete that edge? So Control Delete Edges, and then go Object Mode, Quadra, so we can see where did it go. There it is. So I just deleted that edge, and that turns it into a quad. Now this is the flow that I'm usually not happy with this flow. I mean, I do use, oh, there's a 5-sided face here, that's a problem. So you see this line comes in and just dead ends, and then there's another line that just carries on the other side, and it's like, well, there must be a way to figure out how to get that to kind of flow properly. I don't want to add any more lines in here. Oh, but you know what? We want to, God damn it. It's like a game of chess or something, right? It's like one movement, and then that cascades and causes changes to the battlefield. And oh, there's another 5-sided face. Ooh, what have I done? So 2 5 sides. Okay. Yeah, and this one is weird too, because I just did this to fix this, but you see, like again, like why isn't this line coming down or connecting into here? Huh. Alright, time to reduce. When in doubt, reduce, I guess. I'm going to do the same with this one now, because now I don't know. So there's an edge, and then I'm going to go Control, I'm going to right mouse click, Edge Ring Utilities to Edge Ring. It's going to pick, oh, and it all actually went all the way up into there. So that's not what I wanted, so I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to collapse these edges now. So I've kind of reduced the line in here, created a triangle. And this flow where this line comes in and then turns down into the nose and goes across, yeah, I don't know how happy I am with that. So I wish this kind of flowed into this point here instead. We do have some space here too. So I'm going to pause, I'm going to puzzle this out, and then I'll come back with my solution. So hang on one sec, sorry for the delay. See you in 2 shakes. Oh. it's recording. Is it recording the whole time?